Drivin Ivan here with the Porsche Cayenne Turbo. I'm going to drive it, I'm going to review it, I'm going to tell you about the history of it, I'm going to tell you what it meant for Porsche sports car enthusiasts of the 911, and I'm also going to tell you how to find a good one to buy, and of course, we're going to find out if I'm impressed. Well, here's the angle that really makes it look like a Porsche. Of course, it was based on the Volkswagen Touareg, but it's all Porsche from this angle. It's got the same hood, and you can see the family resemblance to other cars, like, of course, the Boxster and the 911, and that's what you want from your Porsche SUV. The optional 21-inch Porsche alloys with the colored crests on the side, about $5,000 extra, really set it off from the side profile, and it's Porsche through and through. You can see the 2 exhausts per side back there, and sure, it's got to follow the function to be an SUV, but it's definitely Porsche-like with that cool wing in the back as well. So I think Porsche really nailed the shape. It looks aggressive, and it's Porsche through and through. Checking out the interior, you've got memory seats, you got the nice Porsche crest on the steering wheel. This is what I like about any Porsche. The gauges still sort of look like the 911's gauges, and you have the key on the left-hand side of the steering wheel for the Formula 1 Grand Prix start, and that's just history, and I like the way Porsche definitely keeps their history in all of their vehicles. The armrest in the center is kind of large, nice, and then has a separate compartment for storage here, and then below you have your USB input and aux as well. Moving forward, you got 2 cup holders, which you can also close. So you can totally adjust the 4-wheel drive system on this and the height. Really, really nice. There's a sport mode and also a sport mode for the suspension. So you can control the vehicle height here too. Very, very cool. And they really didn't cut any corners with the Cayenne here. This is a fully capable off-road vehicle as well. It's got a 6-speed Tiptronic transmission, which you can shift yourself here, or of course with these familiar buttons on the steering wheel. Couple more storage compartments here. You've got the slightly dated looking infotainment screen here, and you can control your heating and ventilation here. This is all phone and Bluetooth stuff here, and then lots of controls for various things here. For the infotainment screen, you can turn your stability control off, which I never recommend, and you have heated seats as well up top there. I love the familiar Porsche gauge cluster on the left. You've got your oil temperature, and then your tachometer, of course, very prominent in all Porsche vehicles. Big speedometer too over here, and then your turbo boost gauge right there, water temperature down here, and gas gauge. And then you have sort of an information screen which you control right here, and you can scroll through, get some information about things, and the enter button is actually underneath, so you can have a nice big digital readout of your speed, which is important when you're in a car this fast. So there you go, a nice sporting interior. I think that's a bit luxurious, especially for the day. It's very luxurious, and I think it holds up even today as well. Heated seats in back, and you got your own vents too, which is a plus, and then seating for 3 across with a pull down armrest as well with some storage underneath. Don't worry, they didn't forget about cup holders in back either. You get 2 of them. And storage for magazines and or stuff right behind the front seats. Nice. So yes, of course, this is an SUV, and you can open up the hatch, but look, you can also open up just the glass, and that's kind of a cool feature there. But opening up actual trunk here, automatically opens. Very nice. Pretty good for 2008. And you can see you've got plenty of storage, and of course you can fold down these seats if you need to, and access underneath as well down here, where you can see your spare tire and full kit down here as well, including a pump. And of course there's also a pass-through for skis. Here's how you collapse the rear seats if you want the extra room, and to fold them flat you need to take these off, and you're also supposed to spin the headrests, put them in the other way. That way you can fold them down the entire way. So you know you have a fine automobile when you have the window sticker. It means it's been serviced, taken care of, you have the records, and that's a good thing.
12 miles per gallon in the city, 19 on the highway. That's what you immediately notice there. 2008 Cayenne Turbo, black with black full leather. Good stuff. And then we'll go to the total price, which is $110,780. Not cheap. And some of the options are things like, let's see what we got here. They're all coded, and you can see them underneath the trunk, the hood, actually, the front. And so you got the Sirius XM radio, exterior package black, which blacks out the B and C pillars, really nice. 3510 for the Porsche dynamic chassis control. 1190 for the moonroof, and then you got a ski bag. You've got a camera package, moonroof, and there you go. So destination, but really nice to have that window sticker. It's great to keep it. I have one even on my Lotus Esprit. Check out the review of that one elsewhere on YouTube. But always good to have records, and certainly the original window sticker.
So the 2003 to 2007 Cayenne turbos were powered by the 4.5 liter. This is upgraded to 4.8 liters, and it's good for 493 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. That's good enough for a 0 to 60 time of 4.9 seconds onto a top speed of 171 miles per hour. 13.3 is its quarter mile time, and it weighs 5,600 pounds, and it'll tow 7,700 pounds. Fuel economy, not so much. Takes premium gas, and you can expect about 13 miles per gallon overall. But you don't really care about that, do you?
So when the Porsche Cayenne came out in 2003 in America, it was a definite paradigm shift for Porsche. And a lot of purists didn't like it at all because, you know, Porsche and SUV, it just, yeah. They built 911s, you know. And so there you had the big controversy. It was tough for Porsche enthusiasts to take. But what it did do is it inserted a heck of a lot of cash back into Porsche so they could keep building the 911 and the Boxsters and the Caymans. And so really the rest is history. SUVs have always been popular in America, and that's continued to this day, where they're the most popular selling segment. You know, Ford is not selling cars anymore, basically, except for the Mustang, you know, and they build a Mustang SUV. So that just goes to show you what a huge paradigm shift these SUVs have brought about in the American car industry. You know, bigger is better in America, let's face it, in many cases. And you see so many Porsche Cayennes out in the suburbs all over the country. And are they being driven fast? Are they being driven off-road, which they're fully capable of? No, of course they're not. But they are definitely a statement. Porsche, of course, there is no substitute. And hey, the Cayenne is the Porsche of SUVs. So, this one, the Cayenne Turbo. More power for 2008, and man, is it quick. Let's test a 0 to 60 run, shall we? Wow, that's fast. Of course, you've got your Tiptronic, and it's not as good as the PDK, of course, the newer PDK. Check out my reviews of modern Porsches on the track. But still, you can shift this Porsche yourself. You can adjust the suspension high or low, put it in normal comfort modes, and it's nice. Definitely gets a bit more cushy and softer in the comfort mode. Chassis sport. Even firmer ride. It's definitely a Porsche. I own 4 Porsches. Just Google Drivin Ivan and any car and you'll find it, like my 928 or 2 911s and my Boxster. But this definitely does not disappoint in the handling or the speed department. Instant power, and I do love the way the gauges are laid out in a classic Porsche style with the Formula One start and the key on the left there. Classic Porsche through and through, even though it's an SUV, still retains all of that great Porsche history. Yes. A little bit of a 911 or Cayenne or Boxster look over the windshield there. Pretty nice. It's nice to be sitting up high. That's why a lot of people like these SUVs. See a lot of women driving them. And hey, when you got a lot of power and you're sitting up high in a vehicle, you feel powerful. And that's why people love these SUVs. Yeah, you hear that? It's just so quick. Power when you need it with the twin turbos. 0 to 60 in 4.9, and that's probably conservative. 171 mile per hour top speed. Quarter mile in 13.3 seconds. Of course, there are sacrifices. You're going to get about 13 miles per gallon overall, especially because you're going to want to be crushing the accelerator pedal most of the time. But hey, it's a small price to pay for driving the Porsche twin turbo of SUVs. And this one, 2008, you could get these for pretty fair money. I've been looking at these, and I found a twin turbo for, earlier in this one, the 4.5 liter, so the 4.8 liter. Still, about $5,000 for a runner. I'm not saying it's in great shape. And these will go on up for low mileage, good, well-maintained examples like this one that has the original window sticker. You know, they'll get up into the $15,000, $25,000 range. But these things were over $100,000 when they were new, so I think they're definitely an SUV Porsche bargain at this time. There's no question. So, buying advice for the Porsche Cayenne SUV. If you just want a Porsche SUV, there's nothing wrong with the regular Cayenne with the V6. It's a little on the slow side, 0 to 60 in the 9s, but it is based on the Touareg, and Porsche did some things to the engine to make it a little more powerful, so it is specific to Porsche, and that's a good thing. Of course, it's got the Porsche look too, and most importantly, the Porsche emblem. Little more power, you get the S, and that has the 8-cylinder, and then of course you have the GTS. There's a special 2006 model that they came out with, but of course this one, the twin turbo, is where you want to be if you want the ultimate Porsche SUV. No questions asked. This one is fast and of course offers everything else that the other Cayennes offer with just a little bit more quite excessive Porsche twin turbo power. So there you go. Buy the nicest one you can afford. If you get a cheap one, you might just spend that much on maintenance. My friend owns this one, and he told me that he spent just as much to buy the car as he spent maintaining it since then. So there you go. Buy cautiously and make sure you have some money put away for maintenance. So in terms of known issues with the Porsche Cayenne, well, it's good to go on the internet and get on to the groups that really know these cars, and when you do, you get some good tips, and here are some that I found from the internet. The turbo engines have oil squirters on the underside of the pistons to cool them, but that also prevents the number 5 cylinder scoring issues, which are common to the Cayenne in the normally aspirated engines, and that's associated with cold starts and short trips. Doesn't give the car time to warm up really. The Porsche plastic pipes, when you remove the intake manifold, replace all of the coolant pipes with metal pipes. Porsche makes a kit. There's aftermarket kits which are cheaper, of course, and any plastic vacuum pipes you find while you're in there, and what the hell, swap out the starter motor if it's original, because it will go slower and slower and slower until it fails. And while you're in there, the rubber donut which supports the drive shaft goes for a walk and sounds like a barrel of monkeys hammering on the tunnel. The Porsche fix is $2,000 for that, but you can use a heater hose and 2 zip ties, and that lasts forever and costs a couple of bucks. So there you go. Now this is all, of course, if you know what you're doing. If not, find a good independent Porsche specialist and take it there. If you take it to the dealer, of course, it'll cost more. They'll do it right though. But the good Porsche independents also do a great job, and they're all over the place. You can easily find one. Check out Intersport if you're in the DC area. They should be able to help you. Now, the drain accumulates oil from the left front intercooler pipe when you do your oil change, and that could result in some smoking, and that requires a Phillips screwdriver and about 5 minutes. Exercise the transfer case solenoid at least once a month or it will seize up. Clear the drains at the cowl, lift the driver's front carpet to reveal some shameful wiring terminations by Porsche, clean the corrosion and solder them, then shrink wrap. Fixed. Bye-bye random electrical gremlins. Anyway, you should definitely Carfax it and try to find out the VIN, check at dealers and that sort of things, and just like I said before, buy the best one you can afford. A really cool thing about the Porsche Cayenne is that they didn't cut any corners when it came to the fact that we're building an SUV. It does have fully adjustable ride height and suspension, and you can lock the differential. You can really take this off-road, and you can tow 7,700 pounds. Amazing. So I have driven a more modern Cayenne on the track, and I gotta say, of course they're a little bit quicker now, and you know, quicker is better, but this is extremely fast. And really, in a Porsche, the only thing you're fighting, like the Panamera, just Google Drivin Ivan. I've driven all the late model Porsches on the track and you'll see those. But really, the car can handle the G-forces, and the handling and the road holding is top notch. The thing that you're fighting actually is the weight of the vehicle. This is over 5,000 pounds, and even though suspension is absolutely amazing, if you really know how to drive on the track and things like that, that's all you're doing is fighting just gravity and the weight of the car. But they handle superbly. This is an amazing handling SUV. Yes, the Porsche of SUVs. I think it's good to have that flexibility in your sport SUV. Why suffer all the time in a stiff sport mode? And like I said, it definitely softens up in the comfort mode. Fully adjustable, twin turbo, super fast. Still seats up to 5 people. You can fold the seats down and hold lots of cargo. So it's a very versatile vehicle. And most importantly, of course, it is a Porsche. And there you have it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to check out all of my other car videos. Just Google Drivin Ivan in your favorite car. Disc golf videos, literal video for Chris Isaac's Wicked Game, and of course my documentaries as well. Disc golf videos, music videos. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. As I said before, I'm Drivin Ivan.